Yeah.
Way to go.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome.
To RVing in New England. And
just in the nick of time.
You didn't see the behind the scenes thing.
I can't hear Bob.
The last half hour. You cannot hear me?
I can't hear Bob.
Okay.
Nice.
We can
nice
hear
to have
you,
John join the show.
Yeah. And
I don't hear Bob.
Okay. Can you hear Ted, Jeff, and Deb?
Can you hear us?
I hear you guys.
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know.
Hear Bob.
Let me. And Jeff, you can hear me, right?
Try going back on.
Yep. Yeah, we have audio on both of you.
Okay, so we're gonna
tell them I don't hear him.
Yeah, they'll.
John doesn't hear you.
No, he can. Yeah, he can. If he can hear, John can hear you. So tell him we're just going to continue.
I'll be the translator here.
We'll be the translator, right?
He said he's just going to go ahead and move forward with the show.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Got to.
All right. So tonight,
I'm going to try it on my computer again.
The local news. We'll do the local news at the end of the show if we have time. But we've got Jeff and Deb Spencer with us, and
there we are.
You know, there you go, John. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So John is live. He's solved all the technical. We don't solve the technical problems. The technical problems solve themselves, and then we scratch our head, and they just disappeared. I think he switched computers on me. Let's see here. All right, John. I got something. There you are. Yeah, and I got some background. Hey. All right, Scott Nichols, if you were wondering what's going on, we're having some technical issues. Mark Polk, welcome to the show. Northeast Region Camping Charity, that's got to be Walter down at Normandy Farms, and Jim Convoy is there. So let's see if we can kind of get some semblance of normality to the show. But Ted, Deb, I get tired reading your biography. I know you're full-timers, you're triathletes, you got your Ironman shirt on. You probably do more exercise in a week than John and I do in a year. But tell us a little bit about how you get into this stuff. I know you took the slow boat to China in terms of taking 25 years to figure out that you're going to do this stuff full-time. But give us a little background while I just play around here and see if I can get John back up here.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody, and it's good to be with you here. Deb and I are out in the national forest here by Mesa Verde in National Park in Colorado, and our favorite type of camping's out here in the boondocking, and so we're getting to do that, and we're just looking forward to getting to visit with you. Deb and I have been married a little over it'd be 26 years, and when we were courting, when we were dating, and we both talked about what are the things we liked, the things we were compatible in, and we're both very active. Deb was a chiropractor by schooling. I was in business and working for a little company by the name of Walmart. And Deb and I met, and one of the things that we discovered is that both of our grandparents used to take us out camping when we were little kids, when we were the grandkids, and Deb's grandparents would take her out in a little Coleman pop-up. Mine had a fifth wheel, and that planted some seeds of this mobile lifestyle. And so we said, okay, someday when we retire in 25 years or whatever, we're going to travel the U.S. in a fifth wheel. And that was the vision. And so we got busy in our jobs, and we continued to keep that goal alive, that vision alive. And we would go to RV shows, and we would travel many states in Missouri and Arkansas and other places. Wherever we go, every year we would be going to RV shows, and we just wore out the sales guys because we were telling them that we were going to be someday we were going to be doing this. And so
yeah, we've seen customers like that before. The dealers all have customers. There's a lot of you out there, right?
Yeah. There's one dealer near our home base in Bentonville, Arkansas, and we kept stopping in there. We've probably been in there 3 or 4 times, and the talking to the owner, and he goes, when are you guys looking to buy? How soon are you looking to buy? And we said, well, we've only been looking for 25 years. And he just turned on. He
just walked away.
He walked away.
He didn't get the hint that you were ready, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But we would visit it every year. We would visit this vision, and then a few years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, we thought, okay, we're gonna test this proof of concept, and so we thought, hey, let's just get a used travel trailer, and let's just go check it out and see if this is truly something that we still want to do. And so that picture there is our first RV. It was a little 21-foot Heartland Edge travel trailer. And so we had that, and like Deb said, we domicile out of Bentonville, Arkansas, and I used to work for Walmart, and then I left Walmart and started selling to them, and Walmart is pretty iconic there in Bentonville, Arkansas. So I thought, hey, we'll just take a little picture there of our home base, and so that's our RV that we got 7 years ago, a little over 7 years ago.
Now, is there anything else in Bentonville besides Walmart? And the reason I asked that is if you ever, about Tiffin Motorhomes, and Tiffin Motorhomes is in Red Bay, Alabama.
Yes.
And if you ever go to Red Bay, Alabama, there's nothing else there except Tiffin Motorhomes. There's a gas station in town that serves as the post office, a restaurant, a bank, a gas station, and then you got this big complex of Tiffin down there. So
yes, yeah. Bentonville does have, in fact, with the Walmart family, they're been just so generous in giving back to the community. So they have a very elaborate $1.1 billion art museum there, Crystal Bridges. They have carved in hundreds of miles of trails it's becoming a world-class mountain bike destination. And wow. Deb and I know now, in 7 years of traveling, we used to share with people that were from Bentonville, and they would immediately say, oh, that's Walmart. And in the last 2 years now, the first thing people will lead with is, oh man, I want to go there and enjoy those mountain bike. I hear the mountain bike trails are just phenomenal, and they are.
Yeah. Well, that's because they met you and they realized you're athletic. If they met John and I, they would say, oh, that's Walmart. John, can you hear us now?
I do. I can.
You do,
John.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm finally.
Go ahead.
I'm finally welcome to the show.
Yeah, now you're welcome to the show.
Yeah. So I'm
yes.
the co-host.
Now make it notice that you're 9 minutes late, but you have beaten Rick Kessler.
Hold on. I've been here, and I've been texting you saying I'm here. Mm-hmm. In fact, Jason Cole even texted me and said, "Look up, you're on TV."
So that must be Jason down at the Northeast Region camping. Maybe he's down there with Walter. They're gearing up for the rally that John's going. Jerry Plant's on from Cape Cod, Majors RV. Ronnie Layberger is on, and he's with Bradford RV. And Ronnie, when is your first cruise, or when are you projecting? He's a big RVer, but he goes on cruises all the time, 2 or 3 a year. And he's very depressed because he can't get on a boat, but he can get on an RV. Kathy Wheeler's on. Hi, Kathy. And who else? The boys down in Normandy. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's get perfectly clear here. You are promoting these people, those two people there from Bentonville, our guests, as the only triathletes you've ever met in your life, when in fact, Zagami, that I am a triathlete as well.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yes, spaghetti, meatballs, and garlic bread. Yeah.
Nope. I watch football, basketball, and baseball on TV.
You watch it.
That means
you watch it. Right.
Boy, you guys are slow tonight. You guys are slow tonight. That was a great one. 3 athletic endeavors that I watch, that means I'm a triathlete.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I see.
I was with you. I was hanging with you.
Thank you so much.
Some people think
What
if
do
they
you
eat strawberry chocolate and vanilla ice cream, they're a triathlete too.
Yeah, exactly. Van Chalk straw. So what are you
that's,
drinking there?
That's what athletes look like. Okay.
Deborah, you drinking?
And that doesn't fit our profile.
John's wanting to know what you're drinking.
Oh, coffee. I was having a hard time deciding between wine or coffee, and I went with coffee.
Should have gone with wine.
I thought you guys would be drinking. I thought you'd be drinking like seaweed with protein in it.
Now, not only are they athletes, this is weird. I don't know anybody who has done. Would you please explain this, Jeff or Deb? And then, more importantly, would you explain it and then explain why in the hell you'd ever want to do it?
Because they can.
Well, I think, the purpose of or the theme for our talk tonight was this pause, plan, pivot, and play. Because as a lot of us know, with that are in this mobile lifestyle or that are working in this industry this year, I was going to try and do this 1 hour interview here without using the word COVID or any of these other things that are going on, but it really challenged a lot of us that were out there in the mobile lifestyle. Campgrounds were closing down. There was a lot of uncertainty that was happening all over North America. And we were out in Arizona at the time. And this year, our goal, we usually have a theme. This year was going to be Baja to Banff. So we started out the year in Baja, Mexico,
Vancouver,
and we were going to go roll up into Banff. And so that was our goal. And we usually do these big places, and then we fill in the middle with, road shows and, different activities, RV shows. And then there's
races
and things. And so, but after March, things were just getting really crazy. And so we decided to just hightail it back to our domicile in Bentonville, Arkansas. And we just sat. We got out of our RV in 5 years. We've been full-time, and we were part-time before that. Mm-hmm. And we just sat down, and our plans to go to Banff were canceled because of the borders being closed.
Yeah.
So we sat down, we kind of refigured some things, and then also the athletic events that we had enrolled in were either canceled or postponed because of the state regulations, and each state handled things a little different, and it was challenging to know, are they open, are they closed, what are the regulations? So while we waited for all that, we started to reconfigure our plans a little bit, and then we decided last year we did about 100 miles of the Colorado Trail, and the Colorado Trail is 488 miles, and there's these people called through hikers. So you start at one end and you hike all the way to the other end. And we thought, hey, with the pandemic going on, we can go out there, we'll be away from people, we'll be remote, and we'll still be able to stay active and enjoy the lifestyle this mobile lifestyle that we all really crave. And so we found out that Kansas and Colorado both opened up to allow you to travel through their states, and so we did it.
Well, now you also were in our neck of the woods last year. I think it was last year because they canceled the marathon this year. But now, did both of you run it? Because I only see one tag there.
No, Jeff is a lot faster than I am, so it was Jeff that qualified for the race. I was just there as the Sherpa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
now, Bob and John, I hear that RVers are just really active. So we're just trying to stay up with with all of our RVing friends here.
Well, it depends how you define active, but one of the things that RVers have really turned to recently, as well as others, and I noticed you mentioned racing. You're talking bike racing or road racing, or?
Well, it depends. If it's Ironman, then you've got, running, you've got biking and swimming. And then as we started doing more boondocking, it was challenging to find places to ride and swim. And so Deb loves to hike. And while we're boondocking, we started seeing in places in Utah, Arizona, people doing trail running.
Oh, trail running. Okay. Now,
so that's what we've, for the last 3 years, have really been.
Trail, so is that like cross country running, but you're running in ridiculous terrain?
Yeah, it just depends on what state you're running in.
Okay. Okay.
Like Illinois, it was cornfields, and Arkansas, we were in the Ozark Mountains, and of course, here the Colorado Trail. I don't think we dropped below 8,000 feet.
One of the things that the pandemic has done has caused people to really look at what they were doing and what they were stopped from doing back in March.
Mm-hmm.
And, you talk about the cruises, you talk about the people that, fly cross country and drive, et cetera, et cetera. It seems as though people have realized that their lifestyle was a little too sedentary. And you can't go into a bicycle store or a Walmart, if you will. Go to the bike rack at any Walmart. They are empty. Okay. The supplies are empty. The helmets are empty. So if anything, people have picked up doing what you're already a pioneer with. Now, one of the things that I've found not too long ago, I got an e-bike from the folks at Pedigo, said, try this out, tell me if you like it. And it folds in half and fits into the RV. Now today, it's ironic that this all happens just like this. I got a call from a person who's going to be a Pedigo dealer, and they live right near us. And they're probably going to display down at the NRCC thing at Normandy Farms this weekend. But the only reason I'm saying that is, what you're doing is not that out of the ordinary anymore when you figure the number of people that have taken up a more active lifestyle when they realize, what do they say? The pandemic 15, people put on 15 pounds. Right? But my questions to you guys is this. Going full-time in an RV and moving around, what are you doing for revenue and income?
Well, I married a doctor.
Yeah.
So I'm just a kept, John, I'm just kept man. Well, that picture there of Walmart with our first rig, when we try not to make it a long story, but we actually had thought that we would have to retire and then go travel. And we met with a guy, a lot of people know of Dave Ramsey. And so Dave Ramsey is a finance guy, and he teaches people about finances. Well, he has a friend named Dan Miller, and Dan Miller wrote a book. Dan is been doing career coaching for many years. He wrote a book called 48 Days to the Work You Love. And one of the taglines he has is, if you don't like what you're currently doing, create whatever it is that you want to do.
Right.
So he's a believer of creating your opportunities. And so we went to a seminar, we read his book, and Deb actually was burned out in chiropractic. We sold her clinic, and she went through that book, and it was really helpful in helping her to rediscover some things she was passionate about, the things that had a purpose and also that had a profit. And Dan helps people with those things to figure that out, because a lot of people we found in this lifestyle, they do the first two. They find things they're very passionate about. They find things that there's a purpose, but they forget about that really key part. It's the profit. And you got to have the profit to sustain this lifestyle, unless you just have a lot of wealth already built up. And so what Dan challenged us to do was to think about what can we do that would incorporate our love for the outdoors, our love for the RV industry, our passion for Ironman, and what would it look like if we could take our dog with us, and what would it take if I could take Deb with us, and how could we leverage our things called career capital. We all have a background. We all have career capital. We have skill sets. Deb was a chiropractor. She's a financial analyst and had her Series 7. And we built houses, and I was a general contractor, and I worked for Walmart, and then I sold to Walmart. And we all have these career capital, and how do you leverage that to add value to somebody that is willing to compensate you for that? And that was our journey into discovering. I took the picture of that. Deb took a picture of me in front of the Walmart store or Walmart home office.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Walmart store and looked at all the suppliers that sell to Walmart, and we
in the RV space.
In the RV space.
In the camping section.
Yeah, in the camping section. That's back in the automotive section. It was just a simple picture, and all we said was, if you want somebody that knows this customer, Walmart, and has a passion for the RV industry, give me a call. And so, that week we had calls.
Yeah.
So that's you've got to have some skills to be able to add value and find people that are willing to pay for that. And then that's how we. So that's a long way that we are consultants in the RV industry, and we really specifically the last 5 years have aligned with Dometic.
Let me hold that thought. I'm going to have you come back to that, but I just wanted to recognize Ed Hurlbert is on. He's finally arrived in Texas. He was supposed to do work camping in New York this year. You folks follow the RV Tips Facebook page? You want to follow that one, RV Tips on Facebook group.
193,000.
Ed and his wife Debbie run that site. Is it up to 193,000, John?
Yep.
193,000. Wow. And if you post a question, this is the thing that's amazing about it. You post a question, within 10 minutes, you might have 100 answers.
Oh my!
It's just amazing. You say, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about going there. Or I gotta, when John was thinking about doing his evaluation on the e-bikes, I'm thinking I'm going to get an e-bike. Great site. So glad you arrived in Texas. Don Hawes and Pat, they have just gone to Texas. They're going to be. We had them on the show about 4 weeks ago. Since John was all set to compete this year, and the races got canceled. Oh, see, Demetrio, you didn't tell me you were going to do the triathlon and the Ironman. Now, Don tells me that you were going to do the races.
I was, and I didn't want to tell you until I showed you the trophy. The only problem is they disqualified me. I did the running part, and the swimming part was no problem, but I wanted to use an e-bike during the bicycle part. And a panago to be
right.
And see the way I'm throwing in all the brand names here. I'm throwing in all the commercials in here.
So Riney's got a little note for you. He says, John, if you have to explain it, the joke failed.
I know that.
Frank Cates says, Frank gets us back to the show stuff. He always asks the question. He says, can you say if there were any challenges within the first several weeks that made you reconsider your decision to go full-time? What made you keep going? Frank, it took him 25 years to figure out that they were going to go. Hell, if you felt bad after 2 weeks, and forget about his financial planning and his consulting and all that other stuff. Holy Christ!
Hey, I got a question. Let's go back to camping here for just a minute. With the type of lifestyle that you live with. Hiking and going places where there are no people. My guess is that boondocking is rather important for you because if you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, you're not going to find Walmarts to park in or campgrounds.
Wait till you hear how many nights they boondocked last year.
Well, that was my question.
Of the 311 nights we camped last year, this has been consistent the last 3 years, but we boondocked over 200.
Wow.
So we're pretty remote.
You must have some heavy solar on that thing.
Well, you could see the picture. Well, it's hard to see it there, but we have almost 1,000 watts up on the top, and then 200 watts portable, and 600 amp hours of lithium ion phosphate battle-borne batteries.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're able to get out there and stay out a little longer. We built this rig. This is a 10-year-old Carriage Dometic. It was one of the first that Carriage is no longer in business, but
yeah. I love that. When they brought that out, I did a story for one of the magazines on that. I love that.
It's a very unique frame. They only made it for 3 years, but we took that and we gutted it. We took the whole bottom off. We put heavier rated axles. We put H-rated tires on there. So we've got industrial tires. We jacked it up 3 inches so we could get out into the forest a little farther. It's got solar on it. We put bigger holding tanks on there so that we could stay out a little longer. And then we've been following some other, before us, there were some other full timers that were just really pushing the envelope. Chris and Cherie, who were on your show.
Yeah.
We were cyber stalkers of them for a long time, and we just follow their playbook on connectivity. And so they've taught us how to do amplifiers and boosters. That Technomatia group has been just great. So we've been able to get out farther and farther. And then as a result of our working in the industry, we also, nothing like Chris and Cherie, but we get to test amplifiers and boosters and do beta testing on some things. So we're able to determine if things will work in remote areas. And this summer here has really tested.
How did you get the tech? How'd you know enough to get the bigger tires and the heavier duty axles and push this stuff up? I mean, Deb was, a chiropractor, and you were out doing your running stuff. I mean, how'd you figure out that stuff?
Well, my grandfather, who was that got me into this, and my dad were both master mechanics, and and so they raised. I have a twin brother and 3 sisters, and they wanted to make sure we all understood that. I'm a master mechanic also, and I specialize in solar and hydronic heating, and also in my construction background. And then I have a propensity towards mechanical things. And then I'm also a certified RV tech too. So,
so what the hell won't you do?
When I first met Jeff, I asked the same question. I'm like, how do you know all this stuff? And he kept saying, I read it in a book.
Did he read it in RV 101?
Well, my mom was a general contractor also. She built houses for 30 years in California. She was one of the first female contractors, and she had all of us kids work with the subcontractors. So she wanted us to be proficient from driving a tractor to doing finished carpentry for electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. And so that was all of that together just kind of got us. But then you look out on, there's a tremendous amount of knowledge out there on the internet and the interwebs. And we always like to err on the side of over-engineering, just personally. And so we put heavier axles. As you know, the industry is, pretty challenging on that.
They like to ride right on the line.
Right, exactly. Yeah, don't put another box in there, please.
No.
So
can we take the dog, or can we not?
Yeah, right.
No soup for you.
Couple things here. Are you in the unit right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're in the unit right now. And Bob, are you in your normal position here? Because they've put their dog up front.
Well, he's sleeping. While he's sleeping, but
never try to outdog the host.
RV, he's got a little bit of take on things, so they're probably saying, "What the hell are you waking me up for?" So they'll go back in my life. They spend half the day there, anyways. Let's see.
I see Don Cherry's on there.
Don Cherry, the coach of the Boston Bruins.
Yeah. No.
Our buddy
I'll tell you, so I was down doing Ironman
a different Don Cherry, huh?
Yeah. And
the other guy did.
Yeah.
Don, I think now is 71, 72. And that guy drug my butt all over Mesa and Phoenix and Tempe on my bike. I was drafting off of him, and we have met so many wonderful people like Don and his wife Debbie and
I see Donna Cooper's on.
Donna Cooper, yeah,
Love Donna.
flying with
flying the coop.
Flying the coop, and
let's talk about that a little bit, because you were also pioneers. I mean, how close are you to finishing your book? Let me ask it that way. Are you doing a book?
No. She's
No?
I can barely keep my blog up once a year.
Yeah, it started out. She was doing it once a week, and then we got so active.
It does need a little work, though. But
Yes.
that's the URL for their blog, Rolling Access and
Rolling Recess.
Rolling Recess. What did I say? Access? Yeah, Rolling Recess.
Recess. That was, if it wasn't for recess, I wouldn't have made it through college.
Let me see who else you got here. Ironman.
But Jeff, what does that shirt say? It's not Syracuse and it's not Clemson if you're out in the Midwest.
Ironman.
I'm doing this. This is because it's hunting season here in Colorado, and it started, and we are surrounded by bow hunters for elk.
Oh.
And when Deb and I are out running, we look a lot like a deer or an elk.
They don't know Andy Heck, so I'm going to introduce them to Andy Heck.
Andy runs
right. Yeah, he does it all over the place. I'll send him a link. He isn't on, or he would have made a comment.
Let me ask another question about the
wait, before you do it. Jerry says, "How about an answer to Frank's question?"
What was
Frank's about the one that says, "Can you say if there were any challenge?" Did he ask another one?
That was the first 10 minutes of the show.
Huh? No, he said, "Can you say if there were any challenges within the first several weeks that made you reconsider your decision to go full time?"
Oh, okay.
What made you keep going? So I'm going to assume there probably wasn't anything in 2 weeks. That's why I made the 25-year comment. But was there anything at any point?
No. That there is a benefit to being married to somebody that is really mechanically
capable,
capable,
aptitude.
That when things do pop up, he's usually out there with a tool belt on, fixing it. So there's a lot of confidence that comes with knowledge. Mm-hmm. And so we haven't had any hesitation at all.
And it's almost really mandatory, considering the lifestyle that you live with, being away from civilization. Or from a Walmart, if you will.
And if we all had to rely on service centers, then we'd be not camping most of the time.
So this particular year, from from March till now, 6 months. Mm-hmm. Did you run into a lot of first-time RVers on the road?
I don't know.
No, because we're social distancing.
No.
And so what we have seen is every campground from Arkansas to here is filled up, and still is. They're just very, especially when we were coming out here, we tried making reservations. I mean, we're pretty stealthy and good to find places, but it was packed. And so no doubt the industry, the RV, people are definitely gravitating. And even today we were at Mesa Verde, which normally this time of the year, some of the national parks, the traffic has gone down, and that park was 3/4 full. and the traffic going in and around and all the ruins and things like that. And we're heading over to Zion, and then we're going to go over to, so we are seeing a lot of RVs out, and not sure if they're newbies or not. We are seeing some new rigs. So we're not sure if,
but we're just seeing a lot of RVs out on the road.
Right.
Yeah, Jerry Plant makes a good point. The first timers aren't boondocking. They want the full hookups with the AC running because they think it's just the outdoors, indoors. I have to ask you, of the 211 nights that you boondocked, how many were in Walmart parking lots?
Probably 3.
That was not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
we
were
love, I mean, we love Walmart, but we'd rather be in the national forest.
Yeah.
And typically, if we're staying at a Walmart, we're just trying to get from point A to point B as quickly as we can.
That's the intended purpose of it, not to put the awning out, get the chairs, fire up the barbecue grill, and ruin it for everybody else. Maria just joined.
Yep.
We like
so happy to have a hubby that is mechanically inclined. And you on your way back, Maria, or you? I think you were leaving.
Florida.
Yeah, she must be back by now. Shannon,
and you know what? We got to take a moment to wish good luck and health on our RVing friends that are down in the Florida Panhandle now. That pictures on the news of these places being, RV parks being, flooded with the water up to the middle of the unit. So,
oh my.
That's not good stuff. No. Hey, let me ask you another intelligent question that's really going to make you think. What advice would you have to others that might be sitting back? And I'm sure, you know what, of all the thousands of people that watch this view this episode, they're going to say, man, they're living the life that I want to live. What advice would you give to, short of having them wait 25 years before they take action? What should they first begin? What should the first step to emulating you be?
Well, one of the things that we learned from Dan Miller is a lot of times we think in terms of either or. So I can either continue to work or I have to quit my job to be able to go full time. And Dan Miller likes to use the and connector. So how can I do this and that? So for somebody that's really kind of wanting to go full time, but has maybe their regular job that they've got to continue, is why not move into an RV in a local RV park, and start scratching that itch? Or, if you have a job that's a little more remote, then perhaps going out for just a month and testing the waters, working your current remote job,
little proof of concept,
and then go back home. And so there's ways that you can start, enjoying this lifestyle without having to do one or the other. Let's connect it and see if we can do both.
Hey guys,
looking at it from that perspective, Deb, don't you think that one of the positives of the pandemic is that people realized that they can work from home? Companies realized, they pushed it down for so many years because they felt they wouldn't be productive. They couldn't trust them. They wouldn't know where they are. And all of a sudden they realized that, guess what? They get more work done. It's more efficient. It's more productive. And so the wheels really start turning, especially on the younger kids now. They don't necessarily want to have a big house. The things that they can do. I mean, I see a tremendous shift in our society.
Yes.
You bet.
Do you think you're along the same lines?
Bob must have been reading my notes, because the same thing where back in March when this thing came about, how are we ever going to survive? Well, in reality, people don't have that commute. Now, we're in Boston, and Boston is one of the top 10 worst commutes in America, because you've got all those people, but they're only coming from 3 directions, not 4 directions, because of the Atlantic Ocean. So now companies like in New York City, we were in Boston yesterday, and I said to my wife, yesterday, what was yesterday, Tuesday? during a weekday at lunchtime. And I said, this is like a Sunday morning here.
Yeah.
Traffic. So companies are finding they don't need a big office building. They don't need to pay all the utilities. They don't need all of the accoutrements of what was the American way of life. You know, drive in, train in, walk, do something that you don't like for 10 hours a day, then go back home, repeat the same thing, and do it over again the next day. You guys have basically kind of been the pace setter. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people this time next year that have said, you know what, I don't really need to do what I was doing, because now I can still get up at 5:30 in the morning, but I'm at my laptop by 6 o'clock. So instead of not starting work till 9, I've got 3 hours of extra productivity in. Am I crazy thinking this way, or?
No, you're actually right on. And that picture that Bob put up of escapers is really part of that ecosystem group that is living that. So when we just happened to be out in Southern California. We had been stalking a few people like Paul and Nina of Wheeling It, and Molly Mish, and who was the other one there? Oh, Chris and Cherie of Technomadia. And we noticed, we happened to do, while we were still part-time, we rolled out to California, Southern California, and we happened to be out in the Anza Borrego Desert. And we were out there in this remote area in January of 2015. And they sent out a note to invite all of us to come together in the desert. And we watched a movie on the side of Chris and Cherie's bus out in the desert. We had soup out in the desert, and Deb leaned over to me and she said, "We are the oldest in this group." And we noticed how many young people. And so there was this community that was developing of younger people that are still working, that are traveling full time, and because of technology that allows them to be productive and work remotely. And I'll tell you what, we had heard about work camping, but when we started seeing the unique skill sets and the talents of some of the people in that group that were in cybersecurity and that were headhunters and account managers and physicians, we've met doctors and attorneys and lawyers, and just very high performing, not just like, campground. We thought, wow, this is really something. And then that started, we just happened to be there. And then we met here at this group, was our first official, they call it the Escapers kickoff there. And that was at Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. And now, 5 years later, I think we've got over 12,000 now in the group.
For the record, how old are you guys?
I'm 61 and Deb
55.
You're 61?
Yeah.
You're a liar.
Soon to be 62. We had to purchase another national park pass to get into Mesa Verde, and I said
terrible.
His birthday is in 3 weeks. And he qualifies.
I think John and I do very well. I was 76 in March, and he just turned 70 Tuesday. So and that's without the exercise. That's without the exercise, Jeff. That's just the exercise.
But
that's
I can go to 120.
I'm going to get you a bite.
We enjoy meeting people like Don Cherry, and there's another one in the picture. One of the pictures there with finishing the Colorado Trail. We met with another escaper. She's just turned 70, Marge Hickman, and Marge holds the record for the most finishes of any female. No, that's not her. That's Deb.
That would be me, sprawled out on the ground.
But that picture said at the end of the Colorado Trail. Must have been on purpose.
She gave it all she had.
That looked like a hyperextended knee there.
I know. That one hurt.
Has your chiropractic background helped keep you guys in shape? Does she kneel on you, Jeff?
I'm her worst patient.
It's kind of like a plumber whose house has leaky pipes.
Mm-hmm.
it's Jeff is probably the last person that gets adjusted around here. It's sad to say.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we
Right,
pivoted. Part of our talk tonight was to help people in pivoting, and so we had a plan to change our plan and do the Colorado Trail, and then we were going to go roll over to the Grand Canyon. And this week we found out that at Zion they have a race that's been sanctioned, the 100-mile or 100K, so 62 miles.
Yeah, 63 miles.
And so I started thinking, oh man, I need to step up my mileage. And so Deb's holding me together here with her. It's good to have an onboard chiropractor to keep me.
Right. Now that's where you're going back to, Zion. That was what that one said. Yeah.
And you'll run through the park?
No, the national parks don't allow any official races to go on. So this will be just outside in Virgin, at the town of Virgin there.
At the Walmart.
Yeah.
So
we will be stopping by there.
Well,
at some point you must have done work camping though, right? According to this picture in Doheny State Park.
Well, it's kind of deceiving there whether that's work camping or not. We were
actually at Doheny State Beach a couple of years ago, helping with a photo shoot for Dometic. And we were kind of doing some scouting and actually having the photographer take pictures of our rig and with models and things like that. And so we didn't, we had a ranger drive by and we thought, oh no, we're gonna get in trouble for, having a photographer out here taking pictures, and, it's the state of California. And anyway, the ranger, he got out and he started taking pictures of our rig, and we thought, oh crap. So Jeff walked up to him and said, can I help you with anything? And he said, no, I've just got a friend in Arkansas, a Marine I was in the Marines with, and he lives in Arkansas too. And I thought I sent him a picture. And so we got to talking, and then he said, hey, have you ever thought about doing some work camping or camp hosting? And we thought, well, we've never been too interested in doing work camping because we didn't want to clean toilets and
pick up trash.
Right.
And usually there's a 6-month commitment. And he said, well, you don't have to. It's only 3 months. We have folks that are doing community service that have to clean the bathrooms and pick up the trash.
Oh.
And he said, I just need you to drive around, just be, friendly to people and sell some firewood. So we thought, well, we could do that.
And it's on the ocean. That's our camp. Our rig is like 50 yards from the ocean. So we get to go. I grew up in California, and so I get to go surfing there every day. And it's on the Pacific Coast Highway Trail. And so there's biking and running there. And we get to be surrounded by campers. We love camping. We love being around other campers. And so
for about 15, 20 hours a week, we get a free campsite right on the ocean.
So you surf?
We got about 11 minutes left, and I want to get to your work with Dometic. John, go ahead. You had a question?
Well, I was going to say, no, they surf, they run, they bike, all stuff that we used to watch on Wide World of Sports.
Right. Exactly.
That was the agony of defeat there. That was our agony.
Exactly. All right, so you
when
said,
that guy falls off the ski.
Yeah. So you sent me 4 links, and they were all intriguing. But this one intrigued me the most because I didn't realize there were portable lithium batteries.
Yeah. Dometic's tagline is mobile living made easy. And
right.
They've come out with some lines of products here lately to help with that. So you think about, it's not just the RVers, but there's a segment of the overlanding group. So people who do
rooftop tents.
Yep.
And
we had Eric
camping.
Highland. Yeah, we had Eric and Brittany Highland. I don't know if you run into
Yeah.
earlier this year. Yeah.
Jeepsy. Yeah,
Yep,
Jeepsy,
yep.
and so that whole group that was out there, we went out to North Carolina. They meet two places. The Overlanders meet in two big rallies. One in Flagstaff in the spring, and then out in North Carolina.
There was somewhere in North Carolina. I know they went to North Carolina.
At the Biltmore. We used to be at the Biltmore, and now it's somewhere else. But so anyway, we came up with a line. Dometic came out with a line of portable freezer refrigerators.
That's over here. Those are really popular. Several.
Yeah, those have become RVers. We found out that we brought those in from Australia. They were designed for the outback, for going way out in the remote boonies there. And we brought those over to the States, and we found out that RVers love ice cream.
No, really?
Yeah. the gas absorption refrigeration that most RVers have, they have some limitations in them, and the ice cream.
You're being kind. You're being very kind. Yeah.
And so this here, when we came out with these here, and we're able to get down to, this is a compressor fridge on 12 volts. It's able to get down to -7 degrees Fahrenheit. So you put your ice cream in there, and you're talking about spoon bending,
right. You got a brick in the, it's a brick. Yeah.
So we have, ever since then, we haven't had any RVers complain about soft serve.
Oh, no, not at all. Then you also, they come up with this one too, which is 12 volts.
That is just brand new now. Those are just coming out. They're already out now, just in the last few months, and we're so excited, because for those who want to have, we hear a lot of consumers. We've been listening to them for years now. Tell us about, they want the things in their residence, in their houses. They would like to have those in their RVs, and so we came out with residential toilets, and this is a residential refrigerator. It's a 12-volt compressor fridge and freezer.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's more, it's more, boondocker friendly for those,
right.
that want a residential refrigerator, but 12-volt capacity. So
those are designed. People have been putting residential refrigerators in their rigs, and even Bob down there at Tiffin and others have been doing that for years, because the consumers are wanting it. The challenge is the residential refrigerators are not designed for the mobile lifestyle, and we're starting to see them fail. And
now they get issues.
Dometic's come out with some products that will have the residential feel and look, but are designed for the mobile lifestyle.
Now, what about this one? This is kind of, it's not like a standalone product. Is this a replacement product?
Yeah, or you might see them in a new RV.
Okay.
That's a drop-in range top or cooktop. Yeah.
Gas.
It's gas, and it's got an electronic ignition now, so not the piezo, a little spark.
Okay. That's it. Well, tell me, and I don't want to rush it, but we do try to end it at 8 because our guests are so considerate to join us every week.
Yes.
Eric Toes in from Twin Mountains KOA, started full-timing last Friday. Say hello to Bob Brennan.
Welcome
up there, Eric. Glad to have you. Bob Bergeron. I'm sorry, not Bob Bennett. I think he's the general manager up at Twin Mountains, or the Littleton one. Doug Turner's on. He says, we like cold beer too. Well, that'll keep it cold. That's for sure. Doug Cherry had to get off, so make sure you remind him that all of our shows are archived. Yeah. Shannon says those newbies are called paper platers. Ooh, they're already starting to make fun of them and be no, that's not nasty, but anyhow. So let me.
Hey,
we got 5 minutes left. People are probably saying, wait a minute, they run marathons, they do triathlons, they climb mountains, they hike, they do this. He fixes the rigs by himself. She's a chiropractor. The reason we're showing Dometic is you have a relationship with Dometic, and I don't know all of it. I'm not sure if Mark and Julie Bennett told me to get you on the show, or if Chris and Cherie. But you have a relationship. So what is your relationship? And I know you go out to shows and rallies. What are you doing with Dometic?
We do. Well, I started out in sales because of my relationship with Walmart. and success there in understanding how to go to business with them. Dometic was interested in getting into Walmart, so that was the natural fit. And so once we got in there, they realized Deb and I, we have some unique skill sets, and we love this lifestyle. And Dometic went public, so we went from a private company to a public company, and we're Swedish owned, but our headquarters in the U.S. are in Elkhart. And they started acquiring other companies. Well, they decided that we've got a new vice president that came in, Stefan Brosick, who is just such a great thought leader, and him and Scott Nelson, the president, wanted to shift the conversation to go from the manufacturers to the OEMs. They wanted to talk to the end user, the consumer, and find out what is it that they want, what is it that they need. And their tagline is, again, mobile living made easy. But as a lot of us in this lifestyle know, this is not an easy lifestyle.
So what we've done with Dometic is to kind of be the connector between the end user, the customers, us RVers, and with the manufacturer, because we've said it as full-time RVers, and we've heard other people say, the RV manufacturers have very little interest in knowing what we want. They just keep pumping out what they want.
It's very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so Dometic has really made a push to switch that focus away from the manufacturers and start putting it on the end user. And so we help kind of navigate, put our corporate people in touch with the end users. So we do a lot of shows, and we've gotten the engineers to come out from behind the cubicles and come out and actually camp.
You know what? That is so important, because Bob and I joke all the time about manufacturing executives that don't use their own product. And,
right.
I know I was somewhere talking to a couple of engineers at lunch, and I said, well, what do you like best? And they said, well, we just engineer them. We don't use them.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So, everything looks great on the drawing board, but how it performs in the field is absolutely important. And it's good to see a company that, did you have to drag those engineers by the neck to get them out of the cubicle?
Well, I'm in sales, and so sales is about trying to encourage and draw and all that. So we actually, it took us a few years, but we were 4 years ago when we were able to get some of our product managers, the people who build and design or who design them, and then the engineers. And then when our president, our leadership, our vice presidents came out to the field and not only joined us at the rallies, but actually camped with us. They were in the RVs, and they got cold at night, and they ran out of water, and they learned about this lifestyle, and they were able to, and they've continued to do that for the last 3 years. And so now we're going to be coming out with a line of products that'll be coming out the rest of this year and really in next year as a result of them being out in the field, listening to the customers and actually using the products. And we're so excited about working with the folks at Dometic, because they are truly trying to help make our lifestyle easier and come up with products.
They're a great company. I've known Trey Miller when I got into this industry in 96, late 90s. Yes. I was writing for RV News. One of the first stories I did was on Trey when he was with another company way back when. I had to rub him a little bit this year and remind him that our invitations to Dometic in the desert must have been lost, because we read about it later in a magazine. So you may reinforce it with Trey when you get there to make sure that we have reservations next year out if they're going to go back to the desert.
We're actually going to be.
That was the best
event. We were so excited what Dometic did there. And
one of the other things that we've been able to help Dometic orchestrate is to have a tech council now. So we have 4 or 5 couples.
Some individuals.
We have an individual that we have once a month topics that we throw out to them. The engineers sit in the background and listen. We have a Zoom meeting, and that's one of the things that we did at Dometic in the Desert, was to kind of bring them up on stage and take them through one of our kind of council meetings, just so folks could see the impact that has, because there are a lot of brilliant RVers out there who have talent, and why not harness and tap into those folks?
Well, we'll have to have you back, because I think you've been great guests, and I think we could carry this on for 3 or 4 hours and still not be anywhere near the topic that we would like to cover. But I'm going to give you the last word to our audience, and then John and I finish up. But it's been a pleasure meeting you, number one. But like I told you, the hour just disappears. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and anything that you might want to say to our viewers.
To your group there, especially those that are considering this lifestyle, I just, our encouragement is to get out there and to do it and to start. I like what Mark Leach and Trish from KYD have shared, is from Keep Your Daydream, is start small, start now. And so that is just if you want to do that, and you could, there's so much encouragement out here to do this. And if you don't like that lifestyle, then you can change it. Do something different.
Go get a job.
You always have the other option, right? John, any last words, John?
No, I just, you know what? It's always nice meeting new people, and especially I'm happy to hear them say that they would encourage others to attempt to do it as well. I shouldn't say attempt, but to do it. And you know what? Baby steps. That's all you need. And once, like I heard somebody say, and it's so true, beginning is half done.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and to your other point, the community of RVers, whether it's the RVers themselves or the manufacturers or the suppliers or the technicians, it's such a welcoming community. You just have to raise your hand, and you get go to YouTube, go to the guy next door, to the campground next door. It's all there. So there's no reason why it shouldn't be beneficial. And I've been doing it for 40 years, and John's not far behind. So we are over. And if I missed, what we do ask, if you would, today or tomorrow, because we lost a lot of questions there at the end, if you would go back through the comments and then make any individual comments in response to something that somebody may have asked that we didn't have, or if you want to contribute to one of the comments on the side, and we do the same thing. But it's delightful. Have a great time up in Zion, and hopefully we'll meet you down the road.
Great. Sounds great. Tomorrow's a travel day. Tomorrow's a travel day, so we'll do our best.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
When you get there. Thank you. Bye.
Safe travels, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.